PV Wolseley's. She was coaching me on the pronunciation earlier. Wolseley. Well, her first love was Adam Ant, so we also have words like that. And then she turned to art, which she studied at the Courtauld Institute, London, before taking a year out in Paris. Who doesn't? Where she discovered a love of English. And over half a lifetime later, she's still in Paris and still loving English. And almost totally over Adam Ant. She's come all the way from Paris, especially to read two super flash pieces, L'Origine du Monde Speaks and Le Grande Odalisque.
We miss Biddy, but it's a comfort to know that she's surrounded by so much talent. It's been a real treat listening to the stories. So I wanted to read two flash fictions from a series I did a few years back that were based on artworks. And I thought that in that way we would link this wonderful venue with the Louvre and the Musée d'Orsay. So the first flash fiction is based on a painting by Courbet called L'Origine du Monde. And it's infamous, I think we can say, more than famous. It shows a close-up of a woman's sex with her legs apart and nothing else. And I used to be troubled by the fact that despite everything that's said and written about the painting, you very rarely, well, no, you never is a word, you never get to hear the sitter or the subject speak. So I tried to correct that in my flash fiction. And then the other one is based on Grande Odalisque by Ingres, who was a great draftsman. And we know from his sketches that he drew his subject correctly, true to life. But then when he got to painting it, and the subject depicts a female back, the nude female back, there's several vertebrae too many. And because he was also a great violinist, I like the idea that he got caught up in the music of his subject, and instead of running with the subject, he let it run with him. It just went on and on. So the first one is L'Origine du Monde, the origin of the world speaks. Gustave said, I want to tell the truth, but I suspected a cover-up. He kept saying to the model, no one will know it's you. When he said, c'est fini, I wanted to say, ce n'est pas fini. My torso's twisted. But of course I couldn't. Gustave had made sure of that. Whatever truths he wanted to tell, they weren't the model's or mine. At first, I was exposed only for occasional private viewings. I remember fabric being drawn back, the look, the touch, whispered desires, not mine, obviously. Now I'm on public display. People mutter instead about my title, brushstrokes and pigments, but few take the time to really examine them. Even if they do, their gaze always returns to the same spot, and no one mentions my back. Some visitors pretend they've stumbled across me by accident. Others sidle up as if I might bite. If my lips could speak, I'd ask, what are you so scared of? Occasionally, feminists march right up and talk loudly about liberation. At first I thought, this lot will do something for my back. But it soon became clear that they had their own agenda. Some talked without even looking at me. Sometimes, a sensitive soul stands before me and asks, who was she? How did she feel? What was she thinking? But even as I lie legs akimbo, I can only keep my secrets. The part of me that could tell is forever falling out of the frame. So this one is called La Grande Odalisque. I should say that for this one there used to be two. It's a pendant piece. There used to be a front and a back, and the only one that's left is the back. It used to be east and west. So La Grande Odalisque. The score seems simple. Paint a pendant piece, east to my sister's west, back to her front. And the sketches, true to life, seemed to make a simple job of it. But when he came to the canvas, he picked up a new tune. "See only the sublime," he said, closing his eyes as if listening to music faint or far. "Sublime," he said, eyes still closed, nodding. "Line," he said, as if he had recognized the melody. And then he smiled, as if giving himself up to it. He let the line lead him, tracing it long, slow, sinuous, like smoke from a hookah. All fell into place easily, coming together as if according to sheet music written in air. I became a strange melody, all wrong and all right. A dislocated hip that wouldn't work any other way, an arm too long and long enough, a neck twisted, just so. The rest is colour harmonies and counterpoint, the caress of silk on skin, the felted give of velvet, the sigh of feathers falling limp in the evening heat. The climax builds along my back, but so slowly that he himself took a step back to check the score. He returned, sure as a calligrapher, and cast the line in a slow motion swoop that dropped but never fell, like a note left quivering almost, but not quite, too long. And there he left it, and here I am, revealing as much as a woman possibly can, with her back turned.